You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit.
WGPR Detroit, HD2.
The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of WHPS, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabree. We are living through unprecedented times with a global pandemic now approaching its third year. As a result, the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund was created. This fund, administered by the state of Michigan, is designed to help homeowners cope with pandemic-related hardships, such as delinquent property taxes. To see if you qualify, please visit. Call 313-388-9799 or email taxinfo@waynecounty.com. We're here to help.
Good morning. If you're looking for the weekly broadcast of the Ask Welfare Rights program, as I fix this necklace, you have been lucky and you found it once again. This is Ask Welfare Rights. My name is Maureen Taylor and I'm here by myself today. Marion is one of the Highland Park residents who has been without power since last Monday. So she's been running back and forth, and I think she just got back home last night. And a little bit under the weather, a little coughing and sneezing because she's been all over the place. So she's supposed to call in this morning, and hopefully she'll wake up long enough to do that. But I'm here representing Michigan Welfare Rights, so I would read the information. Mary reads to us every week. If you want to call in and give us some updated information, I heard this morning that there's some 54,000 residents that are still without electricity, and that's quite a few since Monday. And at Monday, it started off with 245,000 outages. That's a lot. So we're down to 54,000 outages today. And hopefully everybody will be back on in the next 20 minutes. That's hopefully. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's certainly my request. That would be my prayer. If you want to call and make some comments or add or bring us some information that we may not know about, please call the call-in numbers. They're on your screen. If you can see that, 868-4336 or 868-0351 or 868-0342. You can call in and share information, ask us some questions. I'm saying us. Ask some questions or, whatever kind of comments you might want to just call to say good morning. Okay, we've all been through some harrowing last few days. So if you're online, and your computer is up and running, you might check us out online, and there the website is www.tv33whpr.com. That's www.tv33whpr.com. This is the weekly broadcast of Ask Welfare Rights, and what we try to do is to bring political information, social information, economic information, neighborhood, community information to folks that live in the areas, the catchment areas where you're able to connect to this broadcast. We are back on Comcast, so those of you that have Comcast services, Channel 90 and Channel 91, and if you've got one of those little bitty refrigerators with one of those metal clothes hangers, you could get us on that too, and that's 15.2. 15.2. So a couple of things I wanted to start off with. the last couple of days, I've seen this announcement made on TV. If you are already on Medicare, and the last two letters of Medicare is RE. And the way I always remember the difference between Medicare and Medicaid is RE means retired. So if you're 65 years of age or older, you're categorically eligible for Medicare. If you're 55 years of age and older, in that gap between 55 and 65, and you're disabled, lots of folks that had disabilities early in life, you're also a receiver of Medicare health care coverage. And, I've run into a number of younger folks in their 40s who have brain damage issues at birth, and they were converted to Medicare coverage. So the point is, if you're already on and covered by Medicare, you can get the free COVID test, home test, and you can get 8 of them delivered to your house, your apartment, free of charge. Here's the number if you're interested. You may want to get free COVID home testing kits because it looks like the COVID numbers are rising. Every day I try to check it out, and we're averaging about 16 to 17,000 new cases every 7 days. And so as the weather, today and tomorrow, we're going to have a different kind of a challenge with weather. But as we get into the colder seasons, you might want to make certain that you have a couple of those COVID vaccine testing kits, not vaccine, but COVID testing kits in your home, and maybe you can give 1 or 2 of them away to your relatives or to your friends that may need that. So here's the number, 1-800-641-0973, 1-800-641-0973. And this is for folks that are already covered by Medicare, and they are eligible to receive up to 8 free COVID testing kits, and they will be delivered to whatever address you live at free of charge. So might want to take advantage of that. Over the last few days since Monday, for sure, the Monday was the 29th of August, and about 6 o'clock, about 5:30, 6 o'clock, some of us were in a meeting at Central United Methodist Church, and my son called to say, "Mom, I don't know what's going on, but there's such a vigorous storm in northwest Detroit that is so vigorous, the trees look like they may about to be uprooted. And the rain was fierce," he said. "You could barely see across the street. It got so dark so quick." And, of course, we announced this at the community meeting that we were at Monday night, and which was really interesting because Central Church, where the meeting was, is downtown. And it was sunny and bright. But within 15 minutes, all of that went away. And, of course, several of us ran to the window to take a look at, what in the world's going on here. And that's when we were able to really see, can't see it, but really see the effects of wind gusts. And I thought that's what they were, wind gusts, because I could see the little barriers in the streets were rolling down the street where the wind took them away, and trash cans rolling down the street where the wind took them away. So I knew that we were in for something, but I had no idea that this would end up that Monday night with 245,000 outages that included Detroit, Highland Park, Hamtramck, Sterling Heights, corridor of this kind of destruction. So I lost power Monday night, and mine didn't come back on until Wednesday. Folks that live in Highland Park a lot of you were out of electricity until last night. This morning, they're reporting 54,000 still that are out, and this is Friday. The promise is, or it's not a promise, but the suggestion is that by last night, Thursday night, 80% of the folks will be back on, and I guess we're in that ballpark. And tonight, which is Friday, some 95% of the homes affected by a loss of electricity, 95% of those will be back on. And that is a suggestion that DTE is making, and that means the rest by this weekend. Monday that's coming up will mean some folks will have been without electricity, no working refrigerator for 7 days, and that's quite a bit. And I thought we would, raise this today for a couple of reasons. DTE has been lobbying the Michigan Public Service Commission for a rate increase. And a number of us attended a community meeting, a couple of weeks ago at WC3, the Fort Street campus, where the Michigan Public Service Commission was there and soliciting public comment about do you not support a rate increase. And the place was packed. We were in the Hayden room on the first floor. It was packed, and there were a couple of folks that thought a rate increase was appropriate, and they gave their reasons why. The overwhelming majority of those in the audience were absolutely in opposition to any rate increase, and certainly myself and members of Welfare Rights, we're not feeling that. And now after these 3, 4, or 5 days without electricity, meaning your refrigerator is not working, your freezer is not working, you can't charge your phone in your house, all of those things are going on. And I think certainly the call should go out, and I'm making it now, should be contacting DTE, 1-800-477-4747, and absolutely making it clear that we are not in favor of any rate increases, not with this tragedy that just happened. Now, what I've heard, and I haven't checked it out because I just got home yesterday, DTE is suggesting that a $25 credit is going to be applied to people's DTE bills. I'm not sure what that means. There should be no charges at all while you were off. Should be no charges at all. And I don't know. I understand $25, not a lot of money, not feeling it. But to take $25 off a bill that's coming in 2 or 3 or 4 weeks or 5 weeks, that's not the best care. If there's going to be a $25 credit, then I think what DTE should do is to send a voucher and give me a $25 credit card. Give me a Myers card with $25 on it, or send me a check for $25 so I can go to Kroger's or to wherever I want to go, Myers, any place else, and I can buy food. Now, not a lot you can buy with $25. Let me just add it up. A loaf of bread costs $2, and a can of or a jar of peanut butter is about $1.80. Jelly about $1.50. Milk, I'm talking about for one person. Milk, I don't know how much is milk. I don't drink it. Lactose intolerant. So maybe what? $1.50 for a gallon of milk? I don't know. 5 potatoes, another $1.50. A half a watermelon, $3. Okay. And, that's the ballpark. So we're looking at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's $12 right there. Just those few things that I added up. And that doesn't have anything to do with how we're going to live. That might be $25 a day is what DTE should be considering. So if I'm off for 3 days, which I was, I probably need a check for $75. sent to me so that I can go and replace my cheese, go and replace my breakfast sausage, go and replace my whatever. And if you are off for 4 days, you need 4 times 25, you need $100. And I just think that a check, a voucher sent to your address so you can go and take that money and buy you some food, I think that's a whole lot, that's a better response than taking $25 off your DTE bill in a week or 2 or 3 or 4. That's my position about this. 868-4336, 868-0351, 868-0342. The other thing I wanted to bring up is that what I noticed as I was driving around, especially when I was leaving where I was and going back to the house to check and see if service was on, and I started doing that Tuesday and started doing that Wednesday morning. Service came back on Wednesday night. But I noticed that street lights and traffic lights and all of the usual well-lit places, of course, were all disturbed by this surge of winds, 75 mile an hour winds. And, of course, they took down wires. And the reason they took down wires is because they took down tree branches. And tree branches hit the wires, and that was it. Even if wires were underground, the tree branches that hit the ground hit transformers, and the transformers blew out. And I saw that in several places on the east side and on the west side as I drove around to kind of survey the damage, and it was quite a bit. I've seen trees uprooted on TV. But this is the first time I saw great big trees with a diameter as big as this table, okay, uprooted, and the roots of the trees on top of the sidewalk or on top of the street or on top of the dirt. And I pulled over a couple of times so I could look at this and figure out that is a powerful piece of wind able to pick this tree up by the roots, lift it up, and lay it on its side. So I saw that, and I wanted to look at it because I'd only seen it on TV. My goodness. Powerful, powerful winds, 70, 75 mile an hour winds. But the thing I was noticing is that a lot of people don't know how to drive. A lot of folks are not aware of the rules and regulations of how you maneuver in a car during or after a mega storm. You don't know how to do it. And the point, the specific issue I'll share is that, you know, when you get to a corner where there's just a stop sign, it's a 4-way stop. If you get to a corner where there is a traffic light and the traffic light is out, it's a 4-way stop. If you get to a corner where there's a red light blinking and a yellow light blinking, it's still a 4-way stop. And you already know, I'm preaching to the choir. I pulled up and stopped the car, you know, and the rule is the first one gets there is the one that's able to go first. And oh my goodness, I would pull up, I'm the first one there, or maybe I'm the second one there, and the other traffic that's going across didn't stop at all. They just kept going. And then you kind of ease out a little bit to get people's attention, and then cars start to slow down, but they don't slow down on this side of the stop sign. They go out a little bit, so you're not sure if they're going to stop or just slow down and speed up. And I saw that over and over and over again. Near accidents. School buses pulling up to the corner. The traffic lights are blinking. And the school bus gets ready to move out in this direction. And here comes cars in this direction. And they just kept going. So, you know, that tells me that, A, people don't know the rules. What do you do? How do you drive? What are the safety rules and regulations when you're involved in a traffic experience after a storm, or your Uncle Joseph or your Auntie Mary showed you how to drive, which means some of the rules and regulations, maybe you didn't learn them. Maybe you did not learn them. I'm not sure how this happens, because even if Uncle Harry and Aunt Mary trained you how to drive, taught you how to drive, you still, if you have a driver's license, you still had to go past the written test, the driver's test. So then the next thought I have is maybe somebody showed you the rules and talked to you about how to drive, but you don't have a valid license. And I hear that on some of these judge programs all the time. Do you have a driver's license? No, I don't. Well, is it suspended? Some say yes. Some say no, it's not suspended because I never had one. I just know how to drive. No, you don't. No, you don't. I see there's a little gnat. What I see at funeral processions going down the street, and the funeral procession is moving in one direction, and here comes a driver. The funeral procession is moving slowly, and I've seen drivers drive in between cars at funeral processions, and that means you didn't understand the rules and the regulations, or if you did understand them, you've assumed that you're above the law and that these rules and regulations don't apply to you. And the reason I bring this up is because all of us, even on the way to the station today, there are a number of traffic lights that are out. There are a number of lights on major streets, on Woodward, on Grand River, on West McNichols, and the lights are flashing in all directions on major streets. And boy, is that concerning to pull up to a four-way stop. And here's Grand River and Outer Drive, and traffic is flying up and down each street. Very concerning. At my school, we have submitted for consideration, and I hope it's going to be approved, a pre-driver's education and road safety course. And I've asked a number of the students, 16 years of age and older, if they would be interested in this pre-driver's education road safety course. And to a person, men and women, young ladies, young men, everybody wants to take this course. And it's important mostly because some 65% of young people that take the driver's ed test for the first time, they don't do well and they don't pass the test. And that test costs money. It is a fee involved. So, if you don't pass the test, and I don't know that you have to pay for a second test, maybe somebody will call and let us know. But it costs money, and you want to try to pass it the first time out. So as I talk to folks and young people about this and some of their parents, everybody's interested. I find very few people that were not interested in this pre-driver's ed and road safety course. What I did find is when I suggested that the course at my school that's being suggested is for 10 or 11 students at a time. We've got the trainer, we've got the driver's education documents, the paperwork, and the test, past test and the kinds of questions that I asked. What is a two-lane highway? What does that mean? What does it mean if you have a yellow strip going down the road? What does it mean if you have a white strip going down the road? What does it mean if there's a yellow strip that's broken, a white strip that's broken, a yellow strip that's broken on one side, and a unbroken strip right next to it? What do those things mean? I asked a couple of students, what do you do if you're in a fender bender? Okay, you're driving on Surface Street, and you run into the back of someone. Very likely, you hit their bumper. And every kid I talked to said you park the car, you take the keys, and you get out and run. So no, that's not the answer. That's not the answer. What do you do if you're driving and somebody hits you in the back? You park the car, you take the keys, and you go back there and you scream at that person, and then you run. No. No, that's not the answer. There are safety rules and regulations that people really need to know if you're going to be out on the road, and especially if you're driving out on the road and you're not the only car. If you, the expectation is that there's another vehicle any place in the area, you need to know the rules. If you're in a left turning lane, 2 lanes of traffic, and the middle lane is left turn, okay? And there's a traffic light in front of you, all right? Do you have the right to make that left turn when the traffic light is on red and it's not blinking? The answer is no. You have to wait until the turning light signal changes. If you don't know the rules of the road, you may not pay attention to that. And here you are trying to make a left turn, and somebody's going to run into you and hurt you. So we have, all kinds of road safety rules and whatnot that our young people, they really need to know. And of course, after you get involved with the rules of the road, then you are able to take the driving test. And the course that we're trying to set up, you'll be able to take the driving test. We've got an instructor who's a retired police officer and belongs to a club with a lot of cars. And he's already made the offer after students are trained and understand the rules of the road. He would be open to getting in the car, his personal cars, with one of these students and taking them around so that they can get the feel, if they haven't had it before, of how do you drive. So my school is Detroit Community Schools. It's over in Brightmoor. And so we're talking about Burt Road between Schoolcraft and Plymouth. If your student has not decided on a school, we're doing pre-K, so four-year-olds, 5-year-olds are at my school. And so we're doing pre-K through 12th grade. And if you're looking for a school home, I would invite you to call us at Detroit Community Schools, 313-537-3570, and talk to the office. That's at extension 200, and get some questions answered. We were supposed to have orientation at school yesterday, which was a Thursday, but of course the storm knocked all of that out, so we weren't able to do the parent/student orientation as planned. But if you're still not sure and haven't made up your mind yet about what school you may want your student or students to attend, call us at Detroit Community Schools over on Burt Road. We offer free bus transportation, meaning that if you don't have your personal car, private car, if you're not, as long as you don't live in Ohio, we can send a bus to pick students up. So this pre-driver's ed and road safety course, I think is going to be absolutely critical. Now, there's a segment 1 and a segment 2 that is involved in a driver's ed official course offered by the state. All right, ours is preparation to help students pass segment 1. And this is the written part of the test. And of course, this is just tied right into academics. Our students are already behind across the country, already behind 2 years in COVID, and we're going into the 3rd year. A lot of virtual education. It worked in some instances, but it did not work in a lot of instances. So our kids are challenged as they get ready to go back to school. Our first day is next Tuesday, September the 6th. So being able to pass the written test means your understanding of words. If you read a sentence, do you understand what the sentence is asking you? So part of what we thought would be a good idea is to offer this pre-driver's ed course at my school. So of course it's free for our students, and it'll be over a period of a few weeks. We're going to try to do it at least twice, maybe 3 times this school year, but it will get you strengthened and ready for passage of the written part of the test. So you don't have to worry about that. You can take this course that we're going to offer. The other challenging point was I suggested that a student needs to be at least 16 years of age. So 16, 17, or 18, you can pass or you can participate in this elective, okay? And the 15-year-olds, Miss Taylor, that's unfair. 14-year-olds, Miss Taylor, that's unfair. You can take the written test at age 14. And I said, yes, you can. You can take the written test at age 15. Yes, you can. But we're not going to let 14 and 15-year-olds into this course. Not this one, okay? Not this one. So, oh, that's unfair. I know, life is unfair. But you have to be at least 16 years of age to participate in this one. The course looks like it's going to be taught after school. It'll be 90 minutes, so classes end at my school at 3:30. So we're talking about a class that starts at 4:45. So from 4:45, what is that? From 4:45 to 4:45, 5:30. So it'll be a 90-minute training, and of course, you know, we're going to feed you. There'll be a break in between. And part of the reason we're trying to restrict this to 16 years of age and older is because of discipline issues. And 14 and 15-year-olds tend to be silly and immature and throwing spitballs in the classroom. Well, we can't have that because it's only a number of weeks that we will be offering this class. So we're trying to get a student body that is much more mature, much more focused, and able to be focused to take this. Everybody seems to think that this is a really, really good idea. Part of what this course is going to offer is this segment called distracted driving. You all know what that is already. For the last, up until 2 years ago, the previous 3 or 4 years, we had distracted driver training at my building. And what I was able to do, we had a little bit of a relationship with General Motors, wrote them a letter. We'd like to get involved in the distracted driver training course that they operate free of charge. And we would bring the smallest General Motors car, the one that was the most narrow, and bring it through the back door of the warehouse area of my school and bring it right in the hallway, classes passing by. And we would bring that car in, the bell would ring, students would come out, and they'd say, oh, my God, there's a car in the hallway. Yeah, we're about to do distracted driver training. And the way we were able to operate that, we had technology at our dispense. And so we had these cameras, and we were able to put the cameras in the car. There's a screen, and then we had a virtual, even then, a virtual driver's license, steering wheel. And you were able to hold on to an actual steering wheel, and it comported. It connected to the visual that was on your screen while you were in the car and the visual that was on the screen outside the car. So if you turn right, and then we saw that you turned right, and then you went too far out, and you hit 2 trees and 2 people standing on the bus stop. We looked at that. And so we were able to see this person made a right turn, and they turned so wide that they hit the trees, they hit the fire, the fire hydrant, and they hit 2 people that were standing there waiting on the bus. And so we were able to look at that. So we would have a driver in the front seat in this car. We'd have somebody in the back seat, 2 people in the back seat, and they were the witnesses. So we had that kind of training I think we started that at 7th grade. And we had 7th graders in cars, in a car, at my school, taking a look at the experience of what does it feel like to hold a steering wheel in your hand and practice virtually with the screen inside the car and the screen that was on the wall. So we had all that, and then here comes COVID. So for the last 3 years, we have not done that. And part of this new pre-driver's education and road safety course will be a whole segment on distracted driving. Now, what is distracted driving? What does that mean? If you're in a car with your cousin, your sister, your brother, your parents, your aunts and uncles, your friends, and the person that's driving the car has been smoking marijuana, has had a glass of alcohol, has had a glass of wine, has taken some kind of pill, non-prescribed, has an allergy condition, and has taken Benadryl. It's okay to take Benadryl. And they've taken Benadryl, and they're already telling you, ooh, my allergies were so bad this morning, and ooh, I was so dizzy, and I took my pill. Red light should go off, alrighty, and we try to train students, and this course will re-emphasize, and re-emphasize this. Don't get in a car with a person that may not be at their best, okay? Don't get in a car with someone that may be at their best, may not be at their best. Distracted driving. You're in the car with your girls. You're in the car with your fellas. And the one that's in the car, they're not under the influence of anything, the passengers, and neither is the driver. But the driver has got the music turned up, radio turned up so high, and everybody's dancing, and everybody's head is moving, and the driver starts to go a little bit faster, and a little bit faster, and a little bit faster because the music, the radio is sounding so good. You have to be able to tell the person who's driving the car, you need to slow down. You turn that radio down a little bit so we can pay attention to what's going on. And you shouldn't be afraid to do that, because if there's a mistake made, all it has to be is one mistake made. You know, you could be injured easily, you could be injured slightly, you could be injured seriously, and other things can happen to you. Closed head injuries, the loss of a limb, and loss of an eye, loss of teeth in the mouth, and the loss of life. So distracted driver education is a component of the pre-driver's ed and road safety course. 868-4336-868-0351, 868-0342. Okay, wanted to raise this, and again, we're going to offer that, at least we hope we will, this semester, and it won't start to October. And the reason it won't start to October is because any student that is interested in taking this course, you can't just sign up for it. You have to have 2 letters of recommendation, 2. And that means in September, when you start classes, if you're clowning and if you're getting into fights in the hallway, and if you start a couple of food fights in the cafeteria, you got suspended for a day or 2, in-school suspension, out of school suspension at your home, you know, any of those kinds of disciplinary activities, then that's going to mean you're not going to be a student to be considered for this course, because we don't have time to bring 10, 11, 12 students into this specialty elective, and then we lose 2 or 3 of them because they've got these behavioral issues. So that's why 2 written recommendations are going to be required. Plus, it's not just that. You've had the first card marking, or we've already understood that you're caught up with your room assignments. They call them do-nows. As soon as you get right in the classroom in math, do these 10 fractions or do these 10 decimal multiplication activities, whatever it is. And you find out, or we find out, that you have not done that. You have to have a 2.0 average by the time you are enrolled in this course. And 2.0 means a C average or above. That shouldn't be hard to do. I know we're behind on all kinds of academic experiences because of COVID, but our students are pretty bright, and they ought to be able to make up whatever those losses are pretty quickly. So you have to have 2 letters of recommendation, okay? You have to have a permission letter signed by a parent so we can make certain that your parents know you're going to take this specific elective. And that means that after school, we will make arrangements to take you home so the parents don't have to worry about the transportation. We're doing everything we can for our student body to take care of their food, their social needs. We've got a lot of people that are under stress. We're going to have, we've got a nurse and we've got a clinic at the office, at the school now. So all of those kinds of things are being offered to our students and to the surrounding community to help us as we navigate our way through September of 2022 through 2023, this school year. So I think this is very important, especially all of these exhibits that I got a chance to see, and so did you, during these 3 or 4 days of electric outages. And you could see how people acted once they got to the corner and the street light was off. A lot of people didn't know what to do, and a lot of people still don't know what to do. On my way here, I witnessed it over and over again. All right. Want to move on. 868-4336. I don't know. A lot of people don't have electricity, so maybe that's why we're not hearing anything from anybody today. And Marion must still be taking her nap. 868-0351 or 868-0342. President Grover Cleveland, when Welfare Rights was over at the Hannon House, we used to celebrate President Grover Cleveland's birthday, and we would close the office on that day. And our director at that time was Dr. Reverend Oscar King. Dr. King would take us to a lunch, and we celebrate Grover Cleveland's birthday. Don't know anything about the man. But June of 1894, Grover Cleveland signed into law the first Labor Day celebrations. And you know how this works. At first, it was 9 states that wanted to recognize Labor Day. And what Labor Day was and what it is a recognition of the contributions and achievements of just regular working people. And at that time, it was mostly about farmers. It was mostly about carpenters, electricians. Now, we're talking the 1890s. And the value that workers, they didn't have lawn care. What do you call those? Masons. The value of workers. And, of course, over the years, 7 or 8 states adopted it. And then the following year, an additional 20 states adopted it. And now across the contiguous United States of America and Hawaii and Alaska, the first Monday in September is Labor Day. It's a federal holiday. Folks get paid whether they go to work or not, because a lot of people have to work on Monday, Labor Day. Doesn't cover everybody. And as I think back, when General Baker, and Chuck Wooten, and Jerome Scott, Ed Taylor, Russell Jackson, some of those folks that were early involved in the League of Revolutionary Black Workers, Aaron Ibn Pori Pitts, who passed away just a few weeks ago. Matter of fact, at Hutchinson Funeral Home right now, his memorial service is being held over on the east side. All of those folks, Alonzo and Mitch, that were involved in the early League of Revolutionary Black Workers, used to have courses that they taught the rest of us. And they were the initial tribe of folks that were involved in the labor movement, mostly with the UAW and the unions involved at the post office, AFL-CIO, AFSCME, the American Federation of Teachers, all of the union movement. So Jen and a whole bunch of them, Jimmy Settles, a whole bunch of those folks, they organized a number of classes where they emphasized labor, the importance of labor. And I remember some of the classes that I was able to sit in on, and where the UAW, AFSCME, and some of these other powerful unions talked about an 8-hour day and had to fight physically for an 8-hour day. And that battle had to go on. People were injured, people got killed, but we got an 8-hour day after a period of years. And then the next thing was time and a half on after 40 hours. So if you worked on a Saturday, and time and a half was paid to you. If you worked on a Sunday, double time was paid for you, to you. And these are benefits that were given to workers, and those workers had to fight for those things, because General Motors, Chrysler, what's the other one? Ford, now Toyota, some of these other, companies, Nissan and Hyundai, they were not in the mix in the beginning, but they were not interested in time and a half or double time. I heard the other day where the mayor of Detroit is offering Detroit police officers double time if they work on the weekends. And I thought that's kind of a derivation. That's kind of a change, an alteration. Because if you're a worker in the city of Detroit, you work 40 hours, starting hour number 41, you're supposed to be paid time and a half. And that's what those union contracts solidified and confirmed so long ago. So not time and a half on a Saturday or on a Sunday especially, you're supposed to earn double time. Things change. I'm told that postal workers, especially because they've got a lot of temp workers in a lot of these places, but in the post office, temp workers get paid straight time no matter how many hours they work. And that's a reorganizing of labor laws and labor rules, and that happens because of, somebody said it to me a long time ago, a lack of activism. Because the UAW and AFSCME, American Federation of Teachers, AFL-CIO, CIO, all of those unions and whatnot are nowhere near as active and outspoken as they used to be. These companies and these corporations are able to change the rules, and you could work without benefits now. And those things were just unheard of. There used to be a picture, I don't know if it's still there, of the first UAW Local 600 employee that retired back in, I want to say, maybe late 40s, early 50s, and it was a white guy, and he was a union worker, and he retired somewhere around late 40s, early 50s, and they have his picture at the UAW training installation down there on Jefferson. And he was the first one, after working in the factory for however many years, and then he was eligible for benefits. All these, before he retired, all of those things were fought for and won by organized labor, and he was the first one to sign up for retirement benefits. They were awarded, and he was eligible for health care. He was eligible for whatever the list of things were. I don't remember anymore. I didn't look it up before I came here. But I know a lot of times we take these rules and regulations and our rights for granted. And if nothing else, we are really learning a lesson about what rights we have. Our sisters and brothers in Jackson, Mississippi are just struggling with a water plant that went down, and therefore the water couldn't be cleaned, and therefore it couldn't get shipped to your house. Or if it did, you couldn't drink it. Does that sound familiar? You know, everybody across this country is aware that all of these water departments, all of these water companies are in big trouble. If not today, they will be. And that's because the infrastructure that needs to be repaired, we don't repair them. And, you know, things that should have been fixed, shored up, fixed up, rebuilt, have not been done in decades. And it's part of, you know, living in a big city. We have access to a lot of great things that folks that live in rural communities, they don't have. The roads are made of stones and little broken up stones. The water pipes, there's no telling how long that they've been there. I'm talking about in rural areas. And we're able to determine the degree of infrastructure failure in urban areas because there's so many of us. And when we turn on the water, thank you, when we turn on the water, we know right away if it looks brown, Flint, Michigan, if it looks green, Benton Harbor, if it looks off color, Pontiac, Highland Park, Hamtramck, we know right away. And, you know, they've got pumps in a lot of the rural areas, and it's a different kind of a notification system. But everywhere, there's not going to be any city, any county that is free from what's going on. So as we send millions and billions of dollars to the Ukraine-Russian conflict, and folks do need help over there. There's no question about it. Women and children running, they do need help. But as we send millions and billions there, we want to be cognizant of, we want to be clear that there's some things we need to fix right here and to be proactive. Maybe we start making repairs on roads now. Maybe the road some of it is in bad shape, but maybe we don't have to wait until all of it is in bad shape. We can start to fix some things now. Over on the west side, we've seen repairs made to sidewalks where the sidewalks were crumbling and uneven sidewalks, and there's starting to be repairs in front of your house on sidewalks, which is a smart thing to do. Let's fix this stuff now, and maybe it'll last another 50 or 60 years. So there are infrastructure repairs that are problems, and I want to connect this to the fact that labor, that's who does this work. That's who does this work. Carpenters, we're about to have skilled trades training, skilled trades, pre-skilled trades training, again, at Detroit Community Schools. Mr. Griffin is going to be in charge of that, and we're going to start introducing students to carpentry study, electrician study, pipe fitter studies, plumber studies, mason studies, because everybody may not want to go to college. If you know how much it costs, if you have a leak in your house and the toilet is running and you can't fix it, and it's leaking up under the bottom of the toilet, which means the floor under that, the next floor, has problems. And then you have to call a plumber. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, once that plumber tells you how much it is per hour, and there's a minimum charge of 1 hour or 2 hours at first, pay for the service call to diagnose the problem, and then come back and fix it, you're going to want to have a son or daughter in your household, a grandson or a granddaughter in your household, or perhaps starting to get engaged in the construction trades. A long time ago, I was prepared, had the class, and was eligible for it. I wanted to be a pipe fitter because I understood the kind of money pipe fitters were making, and was prepared to go into that. Caught a virus, ended up being so sick, jaundice and everything else, the day of the test, I couldn't go in. So you had one chance to get this to happen. Okay, thank you. One chance to get this to happen. I wasn't able to get it to happen, and then the next time the course came up again was maybe 4 or 5 years later, and by then I was involved with social work. So, you know, there are a lot of things that I tied to and connected to being part of labor. I was so disappointed when I heard that we're not having a Labor Day parade this Monday. This will be the 3rd year in a row, and I was so disappointed about that. But this is where we are. Because we don't have a parade doesn't mean there's any loss of significance to workers, blue-collar, white-collar, organized and unorganized workers in this country. So I'm about to sign off. There's another program coming on right after this, and I want to say to workers on Monday, Happy Labor Day. It's not just a day off, it's a day on point. Know that you are important. Whatever the kinds of activities and contributions you're able to make, it is valued, and you are valued. And I want to say, last couple of minutes, call us at Welfare Rights, 313 what's the number? 313-964-0618, 964-0618. You have an issue with the DTE bill, with the water bill. We're starting to look at some places where people can get subsidized housing, any of those kinds of issues. Please call us at Welfare Rights, 313-964-0618. I gave you the number to get free COVID test kits mailed to your house. If you're already on Medicare, these are free. You can get up to 8 free testing kits. 1-800-641-0973, 1-800-641-0973. If the Lord is willing and the creek doesn't rise, Marion and I will be back next Friday at 10 o'clock hosting once again the Ask Welfare Rights broadcast. There's another program coming on right after this, and I want to say to workers on Monday, Happy Labor Day. It's not just a day off, it's a day on point. Know that you are important. Whatever the kinds of activities and contributions you're able to make, it is valued, and you are valued. And I want to say, last couple of minutes, call us at Welfare Rights, 313 what's the number? 313-964-0618, 964-0618. You have an issue with the DTE bill, with the water bill. We're starting to look at some places where people can get subsidized housing, any of those kinds of issues. Please call us at Welfare Rights, 313-964-0618. I gave you the number to get free COVID test kits mailed to your house. If you're already on Medicare, these are free. You can get up to 8 free testing kits. 1-800-641-0973, 1-800-641-0973. If the Lord is willing and the creek doesn't rise, Marion and I will be back next Friday at 10 o'clock hosting once again the Ask Welfare Rights broadcast. So next Friday, check in with Ask Welfare Rights. Call us at Welfare Rights if you missed anything. Bye.
I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabri. We are living through unprecedented times with a global pandemic now approaching its 3rd year. As a result, the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund was created. This fund, administered by the state of Michigan, is designed to help homeowners cope with pandemic-related hardships, such as delinquent property taxes. To see if you qualify, please visit. Call 313-388-9799 or email taxinfo@waynecounty.com. We're here to help.